Parades returning, whole lands completely shutting down, and major construction and technology all coming our way. There's a lot going on at the Disneyland Resort in 2022, and here are just a few things you need to know before your next trip. How's it going, friends? Wade for the Kingdom Report, hanging out with you once again today with a list of things you need to be aware of if you are heading to the Disneyland Resort in 2022. Certainly the happiest place on earth is not like it used to be, and you need to be prepared for what surely awaits you during your next visit. First of all, it's important to remember that even though the Disneyland Resort theme parks officially reopened in spring of 2021, they are still in a phased reopening process. In fact, the phased reopening process is still limiting capacity in the parks. It's why reservations still exist to get into the theme parks right now. On top of that, you have things that are remaining closed at this time. Things like Launch Bay over in Tomorrowland. The Tomorrowland Theater remains completely in mothballs. Tomorrowland Terrace Performance Venue also remains closed at this time. In addition to that, you have the various amounts of regulations and restrictions that come and go based on whatever the public health experts are predicting or claiming at the time, whether it be through the state or federally issued guidance. Disney is following continued guidance from the CDC and therefore requiring that everybody wear face masks indoors, at least going into 2022. Certainly, that all could change once again. So part of the phased reopening process is that things do remain in a state of flux. One thing that remains in a state of flux, in addition to all of that, character meet and greets. This is something that we all remember fondly. Being able to once go up and hug Mickey Mouse when we saw him is no longer something that is an option as of right now. Character meet and greets continue to be distanced across the Disneyland Resort, whether through character dining or seeing the characters in the theme parks. Princesses, Mickey and the gang, anybody that you are a fan of is now usually at least 10 to 15 feet away for the sake of everybody being able to see them at a distance and everybody getting a chance to at least wave hello and perhaps get a selfie with them in the background. Now, going into 2022, things could definitely change very quickly, as we've already witnessed out in Walt Disney World. The Orlando parks have been experimenting and bringing princesses back indoors to their Princess Fairy Tale Hall meet and greet location, where you still have to wear a mask once you go inside for the photo with them, but those characters are not wearing masks, and therefore you can get a little bit closer than you did the last time. Same with Mickey Mouse out in Walt Disney World. He has returned indoors to his specific meet and greet location in Town Square at Magic Kingdom, and you can do much the same. Will those things change at Disneyland in the near future? We'll certainly see, but it's definitely something to think about before your next trip to the Disneyland theme parks. Next on the list, Magic Bands are coming to the Disneyland Resort. As the Orange County Register shared, they wrote that Disney Magic Bands have been an essential part of any visit to Disney's Florida theme parks since 2013, but wearable tech devices haven't made the trip west to Disney's California parks until now. The Magic Bands, similar in size to a Fitbit, are plastic bracelets that use radio frequency identification and electromagnetic fields to identify and track Disney World visitors and collect user data during their stays at the Florida theme park resort. Disney World visitors use Magic Bands in place of theme park tickets and hotel room keys, as well as to make payments and unlock in-park experiences. The Magic Bands are also used as part of Disney's PhotoPass program and as a way to interact with some theme park attractions. Josh Tomorrow, the chairman of Parks and Resorts, said that the hands-free convenience of the next generation Magic Bands are designed to enhance the guest experience and unlock unique moments of magic at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. More than 29 million Magic Bands have been produced since their introduction, and the Magic Bands coming to Disneyland won't have the same exact functionality as the Disney World Magic Bands. Some features will vary at Disneyland. Magic Bands from the Walt Disney World Resort will also work at the Disneyland Resort, which is good news because I have plenty from my trips to Florida that I will be sure to use at the Disneyland Resort in 2022. Another thing on our list that you need to be aware of is the major construction about to commence across the resort. Yep, every corner of the resort, as a matter of fact, as downtown Disney, at least the west end of the property, is about to undergo a major facelift where many buildings are going to be demolished and additional dining and retail options are going to be created starting in January of 2022, right out of the gate. Something to be aware of, as that end of downtown Disney is often a portal from the Disneyland Resort hotels, as well as the walkway over from the Mickey and Friends and Pixar Pals parking garage. While that work gets underway, work continues over at the Disneyland Hotel, where the Disney Vacation Club Tower is being built, just alongside the Frontier Tower and just out the back windows of Goofy's Kitchen. That work continues at breakneck pace and should be going vertical in 2022, as new recreation and pool amenities are also introduced as part of that DVC tower. And let's not forget the biggest project of all, Mickey's Toontown will close in March 2022 for construction and won't reopen until sometime in 2023, as Walt Disney Imagineering reimagines the cartoon-themed land ahead of the launch of the new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway attraction. So if you want to get one last spin in over at Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin, now would be the time. I wanted to take just a moment to recognize the fact that eating cereal as an adult is not like it was when we were children, right? When we were kids, we were able to eat pretty much whatever we wanted without the fear of any sort of problems creeping in. But as adults, we have to be a little bit more responsible, as sugar-laden cereal oftentimes does create more problems for us than, say, the more healthier options. Well, now you can have your cereal and all of the great taste with it. It's right back to childhood with Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is the healthy alternative for adults who love their cereal, want that same great childhood taste, and want to eat like a kid again without all the guilt. Get yourself some tasty, delicious, and yes, even sweet cereal from MagicSpoon.com, all natural ingredients, and you enter that promo code KingdomTeam at checkout, get yourself $5 off. That's MagicSpoon.com, promo code KingdomTeam. Next up on our list is Genie Plus. It's a part of our life, whether we like it or not, at the Disneyland Resort now. Having debuted in December of 2021, for $20 a day, Genie Plus grants guests access to the Lightning Lane, which essentially takes the place of the Fast Pass line. Visitors can also purchase the a la carte option of Genie Plus, which is an individual purchase for a Lightning Lane to shorten the wait at 3 major attractions in the resort. From Radiator Springs Racers over in Cars Land at California Adventure, to Spider-Man's Web Slingers attraction over in Avengers Campus at California Adventure, and Star Wars Rise of the Resistance over at Disneyland Park. Keep in mind, prices fluctuate by date and by attraction, and people can only purchase one per day. So it is important to remember that as you go into your Disneyland trip in 2022, complimentary Fast Pass is no longer something that you will be able to take advantage of. If you would like to wait for free, you're certainly welcome to do that. You will wait the entire posted time at each attraction, or you're going to have to spend money in order to obtain yourself a Lightning Lane access to the majority of attractions using the $20 per day price point. Or if you wanted to do those one-offs for the bigger rides, you're certainly welcome to do that as well. We've witnessed many times early on that the Rise of the Resistance attraction remains constantly at the $20 mark. So in addition to the $20 you would pay for Lightning Lane for the majority of attractions to enjoy that Fast Pass type functionality, you're also going to have to pay an additional $20 on top of that just to get access to Rise of the Resistance if you didn't want to wait in line. On top of that, another thing worth pointing out with this program is that not only has the Kingdom Report noticed this, but many Disney fan media sites have also picked up on the fact that from coast to coast, unfortunately, it appears that wait times are a bit inflated on the Genie app. So when you go to the Disneyland app and you search the Genie function, it will display for you several wait times that you need to be aware of, attached to the attractions that you might be interested in that have the Genie Plus Lightning Lane service. What we are finding more and more is that the displayed time on the Genie Plus side of things happens to be far greater than what the actual time is in reality, and oftentimes even contradicts what else is being reported in the app itself elsewhere. So until that's figured out, we wouldn't recommend buying into the Genie Plus service just yet. Maybe the one-offs might interest you for the biggest attractions, but at this point, until that's figured out, we do encourage you to consider just using standby. And finally, entertainment is coming back in a big way across the resort in 2022. The Orange County Register shares with us the Disneyland and California Adventures entertainment lineup for 2022 offers a glimpse of how long it could take for the Anaheim theme parks to return to a pre-pandemic normal following the year-long coronavirus closures. Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic put fireworks, nighttime spectaculars, parades, and live shows on hold during the phased reopening of Disneyland and DCA due to the large crowds that they attract. Since the parks returned in late April of 2021, Disneyland has brought back fireworks in time for the 4th of July and resumed the first parade as part of DCA's Oogie Boogie Bash in early September. However, there are some great things to highlight here when it comes to entertainment. Celebrate Gospel will relocate from California Adventures Hollywoodland over to Disneyland's Fantasyland Theater, which has been dark since Disneyland officially reopened. It was home to Mickey and the Magical Map. Celebrate Gospel will debut in February. Live choirs featuring local singers will celebrate Black History Month, which runs throughout February, and firm dates have not yet been set for the multi-day Celebrate Gospel event. In addition to that, you can also expect that the Tale of the Lion King will be moving from California Adventure over to the Fantasyland Theater at Disneyland sometime in the spring, just following Celebrate Gospel, which could be anytime between late March and late June. And in other big news, the Fantasmic and World of Color spectaculars, as well as the Disneyland Forever fireworks show, will also return in spring, which likely translates to late March or early April, just in time to absorb spring break crowds. Disney California Adventure has begun refilling Paradise Bay following an extended refurbishment of the fountains, mist screens, and flamethrowers used in the World of Color Nighttime Spectacular. The Fantasmic fountains and mist screens have also undergone an extensive refurbishment in the Rivers of America at Disneyland. And finally, the Main Street Electrical Parade will return once again to Disneyland just in time for the Venerable Nighttime Parade's 50th anniversary, which of course falls on June 17th. Some other things that you might need to be aware of before your 2022 trip is that missing from the entertainment lineup, as the Orange County Register reports, was the Magic Happens Parade, which debuted in late February 2020, just a few weeks before the COVID-19 pandemic forced the 13-month closure of Disneyland. Also, the Hyperion Theater, which was last home to the Frozen live Broadway-style show, was also left off the 2022 entertainment lineup. The same goes for the smaller Royal Theater in Disneyland that offered up witty and fast-paced versions of the Tangled and Beauty and the Beast tales, in addition to those. Well, my friends, that about does it for this list in terms of what you need to know about before making your Disneyland trip plans in 2022. Is there anything that we forgot, or is there anything that you're holding out for before you make your next trip? We would love to know about it. Please be sure to leave that in the comments. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Wade Heath. We'll see you next time for another edition of the Disney List.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.